And now I would like to welcome another presenter, which is Mr. Kiran Vyas. And the title of his presentation is Two Great Gifts of India. Two Great Gifts of India to the World, Yoga and Ayurveda. Thank you.
Om Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Satyamayi Parame. Om Asatu Ma Sadgamaya Tamasu Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amrutam Gamaya. Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Namaste. I am extremely happy to be here for this World Health Congress here in Prague. I am from India, but since last 45 years and more, I'm in France, and I always considered going round the globe from Tokyo to Washington, passing through all the countries here and there, all the big capitals. I used to think Paris was the most beautiful city of the world. But when I visited Prague, I changed my opinion. And I congratulate all of you to invite me here. The second reason, Dr. Thomas, your invitation was heart-touching and supported by Bhaswati Bhattacharya, who is a friend and colleague since many years. I was convinced that I should come back again on this World Forum, though very often we are very happy. At the same time, sometimes we are disappointed. The amount of carbon we use to come down to a big conference by aeroplane, using the vehicles. And then I just think that how many trees have I to plant to get back to the normal atmosphere of the earth? Because the earth's treasury of wealth, we are using it a lot. I'm in France, established a center called Tapovan. Tapovan Open University of Yoga and Ayurveda. I founded it in 1982 and still working in it. In Paris, we have a small place, about 200 square meters, but our main place is in Normandy with about 20 acres of land. And as you heard me, I'm very much conscious of the environment. So we have planted more than 8,000 trees in this last 30 years, using all the alternative energies like solar energy, harvesting water, taking care of the earth, having a vegetable garden, having other things. In short, trying to live so-called an organic life, because the health of the earth is the first part of a good health. Even if you have the best things, when I see young ladies, young mothers especially, with their little bit of prams, with the small babies lying in it, And when they are chatting at the crossroad in Paris, where all the cars, they are sending all the gas which is so poisonous, I just think that would they like to kill their babies or what, instead of giving them a good air. So my endeavor since 80s is, first of all, to create an atmosphere. And this is what we try to do in Tapovan. We have international conferences and things. But first of all, it has to be a consciousness which needs to develop. Of course, Ayurveda is not a legal medicine in France, nor in Europe, in most of the countries. When I introduced Ayurveda in 70s and 80s in France and then all over Europe, it had nobody knew what animal was Ayurveda. But anyway, today it is a well-known thing. So what I thought, and the egoism of Europe just suffocated me in the beginning, because everything, I do this is mine, this is yours, I give you, you take this. And I was so much worried about this I. Then I said, when I could be replaced by we. And then I told them, I would bring you illness. If you replace I by we, it will bring you wellness. And so the first aim of Tapovan is to bring wellness, and for each of us we need wellness. One day I was talking to some people like this here, and then after 2 years I got a phone call, and the person said, I'm this professor of gastro in this university in Geneva, and this, we met a few years ago, and I've followed your advice. I didn't connect to that person, and that person told me, you don't remember me? And plus we had a dinner together, and I asked, and you asked me to divorce, and that's what I've done. I just scratched my head. I never asked anybody to divorce, and especially from the sweet ones from whom one loves. Then laughingly he said, you had asked me to divorce from my illness, because you told me that I was too much in love with my illness, and unless your love for illness remains, you cannot get rid of the illness. First, you have to make the decision that you no longer want to be ill. You no longer want to be this. So, well, I'm extremely helpful and grateful to India to introduce yoga and Ayurveda. Yoga, International Day of Yoga nowadays, so everybody knows what is yoga. It is physical exercise, of course, but it is emotional, it is mental, it is psychic and spiritual discipline. It is medical as well, it is non-medical. It is metaphysic, and over and above, it's a research of one's own self. There are 4 great civilizations in the world. For example, the first that was the Egypt with the pharaohs and the pyramids. But this civilization has disappeared. It's only in the museum. Similarly, there are the civilization of Babylon or Mesopotamia, modern Baghdad. You will not find so-called hanging gardens and so-called, but what has remained is little bit the Chinese medicine, and much more than that from India, the yoga and Ayurveda, not only the elephants, but even the saris, even the beautiful dresses, even the beautiful things we eat. But much more than that, in spite, I have not put the image of Nalanda, a university with more than 10,000 students, which was burned by Khilji's, the Muslim invasion. And the fire lasted for more than 6 months. But even then, the knowledge of this yoga and Ayurveda still remains. And it is based on what? It's based on a conception of evolution, evolution of the energy, evolution of the matter. Right from the stone, we have come to the life. From the life, it became first in water, and then in animal, and then in so-called these monkeys and things, till last we come to the manhood. But man is not the ultimate truth, says the ancient scriptures of India. It goes, the man more evolved, supramental, or rather a divine man. But we'll have to wait for a few hundred years now, it seems. But this is what? What is India's contribution as far as the yoga and Ayurveda is concerned? The first, India has given us the 0 as a number. It seems nothing. 0 means nothing. At the same time, to develop 0 in our own mind, to quiet our mind, where there are 0 thoughts, is very difficult. Where we can conceive 0, but we can't reach. Similarly, infinity, infinite. We may just think of it, and that still is the truth. For example, in your meditation, you may go to that infinite energy level, or when you go to the skies. Now, when Einstein spoke to us about E equals to mc square, energy, mass into c, the velocity of the light to the power 2. Now, how the energy has been changed into matter, and matter could be again changed into energy. And that is colossal energy, and that's what we find in the concept of the Pancha Mahabhuta, or the 5 great elements. The first is the ether, then air, fire, water, earth. I will not go into details of it, but it is just the same energy. Instead of Einstein speaking straight to the matter, to the earth, the Indian scientists spoke about these 5 steps, how this energy comes down to the earth energy. And therefore they told us it is a Mahabhuta, a great element, not just a small one, not just the concept, not just the material air or the material fire. Fire means light, Agni. If you have the Agni, the power, the enthusiasm, the light, the strength, most of the diseases could be just destroyed by your power of Agni. But naturally, each Ayurvedic expert will use different concepts how to treat a person. And Yoga and Ayurveda first will tell you the self-knowledge. At the same time tell you that we are all like this icebergs. That means a very little bit of us is known to us. A big part of us we do not know. And find out that part which is beneath. And if you can find out, then only you can go ahead as a human being. Then and then alone you can cure a disease. Then and then alone you could be really, really happy. What's happening? Yes. And then came the idea of the 5 envelopes of the 5 bodies or the 5 koshas. And this knowledge of 5 bodies will help us. And then the concept of sum, the balance. In the music we have that balance. In art we have that balance. In the body also we have that balance. And this balance we will, according to the definition of health, we all know how to eliminate to come to the Atman, the self-knowledge. And the secret of good health is ahara, the nourishing part, vihara, how you live your life, and manovyapara, what is the thing in your mind. Half of your medicines should be in your kitchen, and the other half should be in your garden. The life you lead should be very important, and the mind, the quietness you develop should be very nice. And the last thing, prajna parad, I know what is good for me, and I do not do. And I know what is bad for me, and I do. And therefore, India preaches Buddha, that is ahimsa, non-violence, and not yuddha, war. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Vyas, and for sharing your wisdom about all the aspects that we as humans are composed of and how we connect to our divine Mother Earth.